You don't make it this far in a UFC career looking past your opponents. I'm aware of Tom and the work that he's put in, or lack thereof. I think he could have a tremendous future in the UFC, but when you've been around this long, you realize that people are here today and gone tomorrow. Maybe eventually, if he...
Imagine hearing one of the most famous fighters in the world say, "I'm done fighting." That is exactly what happened when Jon Jones, the man many people call the greatest mixed martial arts athlete ever, told everyone he is retiring from the UFC. He did not blurt it out in a rush. Instead, he posted a calm, honest letter online and spoke in interviews where he explained that he had spent weeks looking back on every step of his journey. He remembered the long days in sweaty gyms, the cuts that needed stitches, and the feeling of a roaring crowd when his hand was raised. After thinking it through, he decided it was time to close this chapter. By making his choice public, he also made it final. Fans gasped, teammates nodded, and reporters hurried to share the news. A champion deciding to walk away is big on its own, but Jones's words carried extra weight because he has stood at the top for so long. His simple statement, "I'm retiring," felt like the moment when the final bell rings and the arena lights slowly fade. People everywhere realized they were witnessing the end of an era, and a hush fell across the sport as the news sank in.
Is Jon Jones scared to fight you?
Yes. Jon is conning the public. The fact that he didn't want to fight Ngannou for 3 years, and now he's not wanting to fight me for over a year.
Is that fight fucking happening?
The UFC are saying that it's going to happen. I think it's down to him and Dana.
Dana loves Jon Jones.
He's trying to grease up his ego a little bit. I think he's one of the best fighters ever.
Soon after sharing his decision, Jones explained why he felt ready to put away the gloves. Imagine playing a video game on the hardest level, beating every boss, and then being asked to start over with the same enemies. That, he said, is what it felt like to keep defending a championship belt against hungry newcomers. He was still confident he could win, but the thrill was gone. What excited him were the rare giant showdowns called super fights, battles against other proven legends whose names shine as bright as his. Those are the types of tests that made his heart pound. Facing another rising prospect, no matter how dangerous, felt like repeating homework he had already passed. Jones said he was not afraid. He was simply no longer interested in grinding through fights that did not add any new sparkle to his record. If the UFC could promise him a clash with a megastar, someone like a returning Francis Ngannou or a two-division champion, maybe he would have stayed. But those options were not on the table. Rather than force himself to prepare half-heartedly, Jones chose to step aside before his passion turned into a chore. His choice showed he values genuine excitement and personal growth over simply keeping a gold belt polished.
But if he doesn't fight Tom Aspinall and he does walk away, do you think he's ducked him? Would you?
Tom Aspinall's the guy. He's the guy. Listen, if the guy wants to retire and doesn't want to fight, nothing you do. I didn't want Habib to retire. I thought DC should have stayed in it longer. So it's.
When people asked if he felt sad about giving up the heavyweight title, Jones simply smiled. He said his legacy does not live on a shiny belt anymore. Think about a bookshelf stuffed with trophies. After a while, adding one more trophy does not change who you are. The shelves are already full. Jones believes his career highlights are etched in history and in the memories of fans, not just written on the side plates of a championship strap. He became the youngest UFC champion ever, then stacked up defense after defense, and later captured a second belt in a heavier class. Those achievements cannot be erased, even if someone else now holds the gold. To him, continuing just to defend a title felt like chasing a gold sticker he already earned. Instead, he wants to grow in other ways, maybe by coaching, speaking, or leading new projects. By setting the belt down, he believes he is showing younger fighters that identity should come from within, not from an object that can be taken in a single night. Walking away on his own terms, he argues, is the ultimate symbol of strength. In a sense, he traded metal for meaning, proving that the respect he has earned is weightier than any belt itself. After making the big announcement, Jones took time to thank almost everyone who helped him along the way. He spoke about coaches who pushed him to run one more mile, and teammates who held mitts until their arms burned. He thanked Dana White and the matchmakers for giving him chances to perform on the biggest stage. He even thanked opponents for forcing him to become better every camp. In simple words, he reminded fans that no champion rises alone. It takes a village of trainers, doctors, family members, and even critics to shape a fighter. Jones also looked back at the unforgettable nights when arenas thundered as he landed spinning elbows or survived deep chokes. He said those roaring crowds powered him like a battery whenever his muscles felt empty. By showing gratitude, Jones hoped to leave the sport with kindness instead of controversy. He wanted every person, from the security guards who opened gym doors early to the reporters typing late stories, to feel appreciated. His long thank you list painted a picture of a community that stood behind one man's achievements, proving that victory in combat sports is never truly a solo act. In offering these public thanks, he closed the circle of his career with humility and warmth, not ego.
Jon Jones wants 6 months. He wants 6 months to prepare for Aspinall. He wants 6 months. He can have them. How would I control it? How would anybody control it? Jon has the undisputed belt and that Tom has the interim belt. We all understand that these guys are going to fight. Now that we have that evidence, we have.
Even though he sounded sure, Jones admitted that fighting is stitched into his DNA like a permanent tattoo. He told everyone that right now, the spark is gone, but sparks can return when you least expect them. He compared his mood to a campfire that is burned low. The flames are small, yet glowing coals remain underneath. If a strong wind of motivation blows later, those coals could roar back to life. By saying this, he left the door cracked open for a possible comeback. Fans understand that many fighters retire, rest, and then feel that itch once they hear the crowd again. Jones did not promise anything, but he also did not burn bridges. He simply accepted that a healthy break is wiser than forcing himself into a training camp he would resent. In school terms, it is like pausing your favorite video game to avoid burnout, knowing the console and controller will still be on the shelf if you ever want another adventure. His honesty about uncertainty made the retirement feel real yet reversible, a rare combination in a sport where emotions swing wildly. By openly sharing his mixed feelings, Jones showed bravery, because admitting doubt often takes more courage than throwing punches in a cage.
If I'm being completely honest, I feel like Tom's been such an asshole that I don't want to do business with him. You know, it's just like his fans have been so annoying. And obviously you don't get this far in a career being affected by fans or whatnot, but he's just...
A huge part of the story is how this choice affects rising British star Tom Aspinall. Aspinall recently won an interim heavyweight belt and had been dreaming of unifying it by fighting Jones. But when reporters asked Jones about that matchup, he surprised everyone by saying it did not excite him. For many fans, Aspinall looks like a fresh puzzle, tall, quick, and skilled on the ground. Yet Jones said he wants super fights against already legendary names, not newer faces still building their claims. Aspinall heard the news and shrugged publicly, saying he just wants to fight whoever holds the real title. Still, people on social media quickly joked that Aspinall scared away the champion because Jones walked away instead of signing the bout agreement. Whether that is fair or not, the link between their careers is now locked in history. Jones's departure clears the path for Aspinall to become the undisputed heavyweight king. In sports, timing matters as much as talent, and the timing of Jones's exit might be the biggest favor Aspinall ever receives. Overnight, the young contender transformed into the main character of the division. With one retirement message, Jones handed Aspinall both a spotlight and a heavy crown to defend against the rest of the pack.
Jon Jones is probably watching this, so send him a message.
Hello, Jon. I have nothing against you personally, but I just think I'm better than you. I just know that I can beat you in a fight, so I'm coming for it.
When UFC President Dana White heard Jones's final answer, he moved quickly. White went on camera and confirmed the retirement, then declared that Tom Aspinall would no longer be called interim anything. He was now the official, undisputed heavyweight champion. That announcement carried huge business weight. Event posters, video packages, and athlete contracts had to change overnight. White's tone also hinted at frustration, because the organization had waited months for Jones to heal from a torn chest muscle and sign on the dotted line. With Jones out, White could finally plan the next title fight without guessing about a comeback date. Some fans cheered, happy the division could move forward. Others felt sad, wanting one last Jon Jones headliner. White, known for blunt decisions, reminded everyone that the sport cannot pause forever for any one athlete, not even a legend. By stripping the interim label, he pressed the resume button on the heavyweight storyline. He also sent a clear message to every fighter: defend your belt or step aside. In the UFC's fast-moving world, momentum waits for no one. White later hinted that Paris, London, or even New York could host Aspinall's first defense, proving how fast opportunity can knock once old doors close in this unpredictable sport.
I'm sitting out with Tom Aspinall, and I'm chatting with him. He goes, I'm about to put it on this dude. You know that the first time I fought Jon Jones, I was 36 and 38 the second time. He's now what, 37, 38 years old? This kid's young. He's the older guy.
Among the voices reacting was Daniel Cormier, Jones's longtime rival and fellow former champion. Even though the two fought bitterly in the past, they have also shared respect for each other's skills. Cormier went on ESPN and said he was shocked that Jones actually walked away. He admitted he once believed Jones's pride would never let him leave without first facing the new threat. Cormier explained that big athletes often struggle with optics, how a decision looks to the public. By skipping Aspinall, Jones opened the door for critics to claim he ducked a tough fight. Cormier did not call Jones a coward, but he said the champ allowed the conversation by handling things this way. Imagine two top students competing all year, and then one decides not to take the final exam. Questions would swirl no matter the real reason. Cormier's words mattered because he knows the pressures of holding a title and because fans remember their rivalry. His measured but honest take added depth to the debate and reminded everyone that legacy is built not only on victories but also on the choices surrounding them. Hearing a former foe speak with surprise rather than anger helped viewers understand just how unexpected and complicated Jones's retirement decision truly felt inside the sport.
So I'm not ducking Tom Aspinall. If I failed to fight Stipe, I would be ducking Stipe because we contractually have been signed up to fight over a year ago. This is Stipe's position. The Tom narrative came out of nowhere. He won a belt and now...
Whenever a superstar retires, fans rush to the age-old question, who is the greatest of all time? Jones has often topped those lists, but his sudden exit stirred fresh arguments. Some analysts pointed to Georges St-Pierre as an example of a champion who stepped away gracefully, never failed a drug test, and never held up a division. They said Jones's history of suspensions and now this delayed retirement weaken his case. On the other side, Jones's supporters listed his record: youngest champion, most title fight wins, victories over a long line of elite challengers. They argued that one awkward ending cannot erase a decade of dominance. The debate spread across podcasts, classrooms, and social media comment sections where kids typed in capital letters to defend their favorite fighters. In simple terms, it was like arguing whether Michael Jordan or LeBron James is better at basketball. Both sides have stats and stories to prove their point. No clear winner appeared, but the discussion itself showed how much Jones impacted the sport. A name must be legendary to spark so much passionate back and forth. In classrooms and barbershops alike, people kept listing incredible moments, from his spinning elbow knockout to his heavyweight title capture, trying to decide if brilliance outweighs controversy in the final scorecard of history.
He does nothing for me. He does nothing for me. If you're a person that wants to see me really challenged, then I get it. 7 years younger, like 35 pounds bigger than me, right? I get it. It's like, wow, this Jon's so good.
With Jones officially out, the heavyweight division feels like a medieval kingdom whose long-standing ruler has left without naming an heir. Suddenly, new banners rise. Tom Aspinall stands at the center, golden belt around his waist, eager to defend against anyone. Fans and reporters began playing matchmaking games. Should he face Cyril Gane in front of roaring French fans, rematch towering Alexander Volkov in England, or test himself against the powerful wrestler Jailton Almeida? Each option sounds like an exciting chapter in a brand new book. Aspinall himself says he does not care about the opponent's name. He just wants the date and place. For the UFC, this moment is a rare chance to refresh marketing posters, build new storylines, and introduce fresh heroes to a young audience. The heavyweight belt has always symbolized raw power, and now that symbol rests on new shoulders. Meanwhile, Jones begins exploring life outside the cage. He may coach, speak at schools, or star in television shows, but the octagon door has closed behind him for now. For fight fans, one dynasty ends and another starts, proving that in sports, every ending is also a loud, thrilling beginning. As crowds shift their cheers to fresh faces, echoes of Jones's greatness will still rumble beneath every new kickoff.